Well, let's hop back in here. I think it's if we're gonna have a shooting spree, maybe we have it with the specialist here with his super nice, beautiful weapon.
Oh
Also,
yeah.
you might want to hide that from Sam. He likes guns. That's a nice gun.
It's a
I,
Swear
pretty
to God.
gun.
I mean, the armory is a thing.
It is. I mean, it's buried under a ton of
And
stuff.
unfortunately, Chris does not have the code.
But
Yeah.
yeah, of course there's an armory. I mean, it's a base.
Yeah, it's a secret base too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a base and a secret base, actually.
So, as we come back in, we find Chris kind of getting towards the far edge of the base proper before it gets into the surrounding land and then the fence and all of that. And it's been kind of a warm couple days. Kind of strange because it was storming for a good while, but it seems for the past few days or so, the cold has remained behind the peaks, as it were. So you can kind of see again that concave little bowl that's starting to form in the snow. And as you begin to get a bit closer, you can hear again the dripping sound. That it seems like the snow is just dripping down into it right now, kind of around this area. There's probably about, I don't know, 2 feet of snow. And the bowl itself, the little dip in the snow, is maybe a good 4 foot diameter, something like that. Goes down maybe 4 or 5 inches. It just looks like there's something underneath that the snow is melting into. And yeah, this is kind of the edge. So you hesitate, you get close, and you begin to just scan your rifle around.
Yeah,
Circulating.
and Chris would have done his best to okay, this is the area. The thing is, I need to find a proper sniper location, get set up, blah blah blah. So I imagine it's going to have to be a read sitch.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, with my 0 sharp. Excellent.
So you were basically looking for an
Oh
advantage.
wait. It's the same stat, but I rolled off a Lark sheet.
Oh, well, let's re-roll here. It's okay.
Speaking of which, since he's rolling now, we talked about this earlier. Should we mark his stats now since he's starting to roll?
I already
Yeah.
did. We already got
Yep.
that covered. Yeah. So since you guys haven't met him yet, basically I did a little GM stuff. As soon as we get you guys together, then we'll start doing it the normal way.
Okay.
But yeah, thanks for the reminder.
All right. So Chris does better than Lark. Lark
Good.
doesn't know what he's reading.
Lark just hit his head on the cliff for some reason. He's not sure. He was far too deep in thought.
There's a
Slightly
low-hanging
tripped.
branch.
Maybe slightly tripped by the one behind him.
Right.
Oh, like just sticking the butt of your shotgun between his legs as he's trying to walk. All right, so Chris does better.
Absolutely. Yeah, what would you like to ask?
I mean, what should I be on the lookout for? Like Chris setting up his position and everything. He's dealt with one of those blips before, and it was one hell of an experience. And
Yeah. So as you're, I don't think you're able to find anywhere up here, but you find a nice little dip where some snow, maybe there's some kind of rock or something underneath where you can just lay down and kind of submerge yourself so you look like you're part of the snow. You have your white bit of cloak that you toss up over your gun to camouflage everything, and you begin to scan the area and you listen and you look around. I mean, it is from right here, you still have yards and yards to the nearest tree. Even then, to the cliffs that are off to the side, the mountains. If there was something here, you should be able to see it. It's when you start listening. Those drops every once in a while will land in water, like you'll hear the bloop sound. Every second or third, every third and fourth drop hits something metallic. Think. Like, nah, whatever this is, it's not up here. It's got to be down there.
So Chris kind of he's gonna get as low as he can in the snow. I was gonna say he's like probably like going like prone, but the snow is probably too deep, so he's like crouched, his rifle up. I imagine it has like the canted iron sights that go off kind of at a 45-degree
Right.
angle, so they can.
Yeah.
Because this is a nice tactical rifle. So he kind of like has his rifle at that angle, so it has the iron sights. He just slowly approaching.
As you get closer, you can hear more drops. They seem far distant. You get pretty close to the edge of the bowl when your feet kind of scrapes across something metal beneath the snow.
He stops. Did the scraping make much of a noise?
No, it just like you felt
Okay.
the floor change. It went from the crunching of the snow to just like your boot, the rubber of your boot just caught itself on something metal. Just
All right. So, Chris is gonna just stay still for a moment, like just waiting to see if anything happens. Then he's gonna sling his rifle over his shoulder and draw his pistol, so he has that at the ready. He's gonna bend down and try to wipe off some of the snow, see what he's standing on.
so as you begin to wipe it away, layers and layers, you start to see this dark kind of brown metal begin to appear. And as you wipe and wipe and wipe, you see the corner, the rounded edge of some kind of drain grate, something covering this a manhole cover, as it were. You can see one hole in the middle. Maybe wiping a bit further, you can see that there's 3 holes in the middle of this metallic manhole that appears some water is just getting into. It has the name of some electric company on it that's long, no one would recognize it. You probably remember it because you got bills from them, back when you still had a house and a fiance and you had to pay your electric bill. These were the people you paid it to. Like, you recognize
Fucking
this.
overpriced jackasses.
Yeah, this is a manhole cover to some kind of utility tunnel or something like that.
So Chris is gonna wipe it off completely, and he doesn't like the idea of going down there, but there is no way he can let that blip go unchallenged. He begins to lift the manhole cover, keeping his sidearm ready.
It takes a little while. I mean, you don't have like a crowbar on you, so you probably have to use like a field knife or whatever tool you might still have, or maybe even the butt of your gun to just pry the lip up.
How big are the holes? Because he wouldn't care
It's-
too much about scraping the gun. If the gun barrel could fit through one of the holes, then he could.
No, I mean it's a standard. It's what you see out on the streets now. It's a standard manhole, so maybe almost the size of a quarter. So you might be able to. You could probably take the scope out and try to just look down the hole if you wanted to do that. But yeah,
I imagine it's dark.
Yeah, I mean, you might get a few pins of light just from the other holes that are now shining into this area.
So yeah, he's gonna try to get it open.
Okay.
Takes a while. He's trying to do it by hand, not quite working. Maybe he has like a Swiss Army knife or something he's trying to use.
Yeah. I mean, even just with your strength, you could probably stick your finger down one of the holes and just pure squat lift that thing out of there. But eventually you get it up and you scrape it across, push it to the side, kind of sweep the snow away so it doesn't start collapsing into the tunnel. And you look down. Now that the sun's shining down, you can see an access tunnel. It drops down probably about 10 feet, but there's a ladder that goes down the side. A few of the rungs have rusted pretty bad just from the amount of water that's been dripping on them lately. Down on the bottom, you can see that there is a bit, it looks like a drainage, just it almost looks like a cistern with a walkway on either side. And resting right at the bottom of the ladder are a couple of barrels. They're large, round, they look like kind of those oil barrels just laying on their side. Again, both of them, any kind of paint they had on them has just been rusted off. The top part of them is rusted pretty completely, and actually one of them, where the main water's been dripping from one of the holes, it's just eaten a hole into the barrel itself over the years that water's just been pounding into it. You can see that this tunnel leads away from the ladder. It's hard to tell how far away it goes. There's not a lot of light that goes down that path, but it just looks like an access tunnel for the base to get to, whether it's sewage, the drain itself, or electricity throughout the place. It would be one of the places that they use to kind of get around and do maintenance.
Yeah, so that's probably a little bit concerning to Chris, because if this looks like it might be part of the base and there was a blip here. Ugh, God damn it. Would Chris have like a flashlight, maybe like one that attaches to the underbarrel of his pistol, maybe one in his vest or something? Because I imagine it's...
Yeah, I would say you have something. Again, you've taken everything from this secret base that you have, so I would say, if anything, maybe it's not on your gun, it's not on your rifle. You probably have a light on your pistol.
Yep, that absolutely works. So just pistol at the ready, the light on, shining it around, checking the corners.
Yeah.
And he's trying to find any evidence of like someone having been here. I mean, just because that manhole was shut doesn't mean someone else didn't find another way in, or maybe something.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think. So do you start climbing down the ladder?
Yep.
As you start to get away from just the sounds of the wind and just the general sounds, and you get probably halfway down the ladder, you can still hear the drip, but further down the tunnel, and you kind of stop halfway down, and you turn your gun and just flash your light. The tunnel extends probably a good 20 feet down and away from you, and you can see that it's definitely angled down. And then it appears to have a split where one kind of curves and continues to go down, and another one just juts with a absolute like 90-degree angle off to the right. And you're hearing something. It sounds kind of like a hum. Not the hum of electricity, and it doesn't sound like Tammy when she's making sound. It's just this constant buzzing sound coming from the tunnel that just continues to slope down and away from you.
Oh boy. So Chris kind of takes a breath, just kind of mutters to himself, ugh. Fate, don't make me a liar. I promised I'd be back there. As he just cautiously moves forward towards the humming.
So with your weapon drawn, you kind of stick to the side, and you can see there's a decent amount of water. You do your best to keep the sloshing down. You come towards the end of this tunnel, and you kind of look, and you see that this tunnel that goes off to the right, it heads straight to another one of these entrances to probably another manhole. Like you can shine your light down to the very end. There's no light coming down, but you can see another ladder that seems to lead up back to another access above ground. But you turn and you look down this tunnel to the left, and it does slope down, but about 5 feet ahead, the floor just drops out. You can see the tunnel, the roof of the tunnel is still there, but about 5 feet away from where it turns, the floor is not there anymore.
Okay. Chris will definitely shine his light down into there to see if he notices anything.
As you come close, you can see an area where it looks like the cement and even a lot of the foundation and even the dirt appears to have been eaten away by something the same way that barrel was. And as you shine your light down, you can see a bit of what appears to be some kind of underground stream, river, like a small cave, and it's glowing. There's this light blue color coming from about 6 other barrels that are resting down in this underground stream, and it definitely looks like it's part of a cavern network. But you're probably familiar with what those barrels are. You've been at this place. Like, that's not something you would want to actively go by. Why is that? What immediately goes off in your mind when you see that glowing blue? Something you haven't seen in a long time.
I think that was a serum that was used at the facility on the Maelstrom subjects. It was meant to be a sort of stimulant, something to kind of get their minds in tune and kind of when they were because typically how the process would go is that to monitor their brainwaves to be put under and then given some of this serum to force their brains into the maelstrom.
Yeah.
Yeah, the side effects were not always pretty. They were always different, but some people didn't react well.
Mm. It seems like there's about 6 barrels of this stuff that ate their way through the ground and now have crashed into the cavern system down below these access tunnels.
Son of a bitch. And Chris kind of hurries over to the barrels, not getting too close to them, knowing full well what they can do, but he wants to look at the cave network. He wants to see how far that goes. He wants to know how much this stuff spread, how far away could it have gone. This is a worst case scenario for him. He is.
Yeah. You get close and you are very careful, like just skirting the edge, and you can hear that the buzzing was just coming from this stuff oozing out. But you kind of look and you can see how bits of it every once in a while, like a goo, are just picked up in this stream and just carried away. Kind of follow it. And as you begin to walk down this cavern, having to duck down some places and skirt around, it gets a bit tight and you have to squeeze through. You start to notice the edge of the tunnel begins to glow a bit, and you start to hear talking.
I'm immediately gonna shut off the light.
You can see about 10 feet ahead from you, this stream drops off again, and you can see the edge of, it appears to be of a larger water source. And you just hear it's just whispers. You're not picking up words. You can hear people murmuring, talking
Uh,
amongst themselves.
Chris wants to try to get closer to these without being heard himself.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to say let's go ahead. Yeah, I think this is definitely acting under fire. Just to you're trying to keep quiet. They're not being very loud. You don't know how many are there. You don't know what way they're looking. Um, it's kind of an uncomfortable situation. So yeah,
All right. Nice.
no problem. You scoot your way, kind of keeping your gun drawn, even slowing your breathing as you know to do, making yourself as invisible as you can, and you come to the edge of where this stream hits. And as you peek down to look across, you can see a large lake within a cavern system. Across the lake stands about 20 people, all wearing pure white. You can see benches placed around this lake. They're all huddled around each other, holding each other, kind of swaying back and forth. There's one with his back towards you. Every once in a while, you'll see him say something, and everyone else will shake their head and kind of agree. But as if one unit, like a tree swaying in the wind, and this group of 20 people, men, women, children, are swaying. You study them for a moment. Start to see the deformities, ailments of, as we would recognize, Princey and his people. And as we cut away, Lark and Sam, you're hanging out. You've reached kind of the base of this cliff, and you look up, and what do you know? There's definitely some climbing gear on here, because obviously the people from Princey's place have used a route to get up. But it doesn't look like the best gear. It doesn't look like it's been well maintained either. But you're here, and you're gonna have to do some climbing to get up from this way. That's just what you're seeing right now. There's no easy path. The only path is up.
Well, I don't suppose this is enough of a deterrent for you.
She's already starting to climb.
As I thought. Lark will go up to climb too. He probably doesn't do it terribly often, but traveling the mountains, you probably have to in some spots.
Right. At first, it's not too difficult. There are definitely enough handholds and footholds at the base of this cliff to get up probably a good 10, 15 feet or so. And that's when things start to get a bit dicey. You can see the paths that would be easier, getting up on these ledges and allowing yourself to walk, but that's where the snow is right now. That's the avalanche prone area. You can definitely continue to keep climbing as you were, but Sam, for you, your equipment is heavy. You're carrying a whole bunch of guns. You're wearing a full suit of armor. Like, you're strong, but you've never had to challenge yourself to this kind of thing before. It's going to be a difficult climb if you want to go up this way. You could take a chance, a bit easier. Just head to those ledges and hope for the best. You're the one heading up first, Sam. So what, as you're starting to realize this,
Is there a possibility that I could do it both ways? Like hip hop from nice easy ledges to the harder to climb. Is there any way I could start doing that?
yeah, I think this
Because
sounds like a
not
read
all
the
of it.
situation. Like you're up
Yeah,
about
I wanna read
10,
the situation.
yeah, about 10 feet or so, and you're just looking and getting an idea. Like, how do I want to do this?
That's a sharp, right? Yeah.
That's correct. Yep.
Bleh.
Yeah, as you kind of survey the surroundings, you hesitate for a moment. And that's when you start to feel the slip of that knife you had kind of tucked away in the back of your shoe. And just as you go to grab it, just to stop it from falling, no, it's fallen. Oh,
my
Lark,
God.
why did you have to follow right behind Sam? You look up just in time to see this knife from her boot just kind of pop out and begin falling in your direction.
Nani?
Right?
Oh,
Steel avalanche.
okay. Can I? Oh, God damn it. Can Lark try to, I don't know, act under fire to...
I mean, you gotta tell me. Sure, I have a feeling that's what you will be doing, but what does that mean? Are you like just trying to move yourself out of the way? Are you
Just stab yourself. Take it like a man.
just welcoming the same spot? I healed myself once before. Let's challenge the entity.
Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Like,
Those teeth.
Lark will take the knife, but I think I might have to act under fire to not A, yell out, and B, lose my grip.
Yeah, no, like you see it, and you hear the whisper like, again, son, once more. Like, all right, take it for the team. She's probably gonna need that knife back, even though she's told me she can have as many as she wants. Yeah, go ahead and act
God.
under fire.
Christ, can Sam help in any way? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'd like to help to try and kick the knife out of the way as it's falling.
Since it's 2 misses in a row.
Yeah, we suck today.
Yeah, I think it all just happens too quick. Like, this was a beautiful idea to absolutely just welcome the entity to save you from this, but I think you're starting to notice, Lark, that as you're kind of going up this mountain, that connection, especially after what happened there with the whole dual entity thing, or dual being, it's strained. You take the full brunt of the knife, so it's 2 harm. I know that you have some armor, so
I got 1.
Okay, so yeah, it hits you. So let's go ahead and do that harm move at a 1. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. No, it's you get hit in the shoulder, and like the knife sticks into, you immediately lose your grip on that side, and your balance just goes out. Sam, you see this, and like you hear the slide of Lark's boots across the rocks, just so it goes down. You look down, and he's got a knife stuck in his shoulder, and he's like hanging onto the cliff, trying to get back up, but that knife just hit right in the wrong area where moving your shoulder seems limited right now. What do you do, Sam?
She's gonna kind of let go where she's at just to try and fall down quickly because she knows she can catch herself. She knows she's like, climbing is hard, but catching herself is easy. But she wants to catch herself to where she's just above Lark and try and grab him by the back of his cloak.
I feel like we've become Assassin's Creed at this point.
Heavily armored Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Medieval Edition.
Yeah, that sounds good. You basically try to hop down, just secure him to the rock. Go ahead and act under fire.
Lark is staring
Love
daggers,
this.
no pun intended, the entire time. Okay, pun intended.
Okay.
Please be better at
Ooh,
this
and
than
act under
me.
fire. Yes, I am. Because I'm battle hardened. Whenever I act under fire, I get to roll for my heart instead.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
You want to help me?
Yeah. I think my life depends on it at this point.
Slightly. So roll to see if you can help me.
Yeah, roll plus your hex with Sam.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Miss it
Fair
by
for that.
1. So, yeah, I just think the issue is that Lark is in no position to help
Basically,
anybody.
like, unless here's what happens. Like, you're preparing for the worst, and Sam, you see what the worst is. Like, his grip from his right hand is slipping. Like, if you don't get down there, if you don't grab him just the right way, you're just as likely to knock him off as he is to fall at this point.
If only Abraham were after you.
I called the thing, so let's go.
It's almost like he's turning around after having run for a while. To...
Yes! Oh my god. I was about to be like, if this is how Lark dies, I swear to God.
Just as it's that movie moment, like you see the grip release and then that red metal hand comes down and just grabs you by the wrist and just forces you into that rock, just holding you in place. Your face kind of gets pressed up against the cold stone for a moment, but you're here. You're secure. It's that shoulder. Is the knife still in it?
Can I throw him onto the nice ledges that can be walked on, or get him up there?
Yeah, you can probably from this point.
I can drag him up there if needs be.
It's just a matter of the space. I mean, the closest ledge, climbing over there, you probably got about 4.5 feet or so to get kind of diagonal to it. So you could probably try. You could definitely try to throw him up there, or you could just kind of help him climb up there.
Yeah, I'm gonna help him climb up there, because I can get up there just fine, but I feel like if I try and throw him, I could do it, but he might George of the Jungle right below it and then fall to his death.
So
Lark of the mountain.
Yeah, like she begins to kind of just push you up the ledge, and you get to one of these smaller ledges, kind of again towards the bottom. You're able to take a moment to sit, and then you just look up and you realize, oh boy, that's only about 1/9 of the way to the top. Yeah, but you have a moment to sit here and think about it. And Sam, he's got one of your knives in his shoulder still.
She's gonna slightly look towards, she's gonna poke it. It's like, then the first time anyone has probably ever seen this, the entire demeanor she's giving off isn't this hard battle press person. It's sheepish. Sorry. It looks like it pains her to say sorry, but she can't do anything else.
Lark actually looks up. I guarantee, as much as it probably hurt you to say that, I guarantee I'm hurting much more right now.
I don't think so. And she's just gonna grab the knife, but maybe after this, and just yank it out.
Lark is immediately, oh boy. Do I want to risk doing it here, though? You know what, YOLO, I'm going to healing touch myself right here.
Roll that weird.
I'll help.
Oh, you don't? Look at that, 15. He's good.
Oh, never mind, don't need to.
Yeah, now
so Sam...
you've got to start both
Sam
shoulders.
sees Lark, Sam sees Lark, like, put his hand on his shoulder. He closes his eyes. There's probably, like, his shadow probably, like, shifts a little bit. And there's probably, like, I just imagine, like, when he moves his hand away, there's like a black handprint over the wound for just a second, and then it fades and the wound is completely healed.
So what's interesting is while you're doing this, your shadow definitely does move, but Sam, it's not as thick and dark as you've seen it before. It seems faded, and even the mark, and you probably see this a bit yourself, Lark. When you place it on your skin, you expect it to be this dark obsidian that you're used to. It's
I mean, to be fair, I was kind of unconscious last time I did this.
Like you look down and it's just a light gray.
Lark kind of like pats his shoulder a little bit.
Is your shadow drunk or something?
That's absolutely ridiculous. Shadows can't drink.
Well, it's certainly not acting like it usually does.
I mean, do we continue up at this point, or
Well, I'm not stopping.
should we wait for you to secure all your knives first?
She kind of just... Now you can feel the sheepish glare. Or I immediately turn to a glare at that. It's like, don't push it, or else I'm making you walk up that first.
It might be safer at this point, actually.
Be my guest.
All right, Lark in like a quick, like kind of like rolls his shoulder a little bit, like I'm feeling good. My God likes me. Screw you and your knives. So Lark's gonna go up and climb again.
Perfect. As you you start to take your time and make your way up these cliffs, kind of avoiding the areas that seem prone. You definitely see some ledges that it just looks like a sheet of ice is resting beneath the snow. You're very quiet. Sam, you're taking very delicate steps. You get higher and higher. The wind starts to pick up a little bit, and you feel that cold air just wrestling behind your neck, kind of getting in between the creases of your armor. You have a moment to kind of look back, and you're getting pretty high up this cliff now. You can see pretty decently over the trees, seeing back into the valley. As you get maybe still about 100 or so feet away, a sound starts to echo. It's a sound that you've heard before, Lark, and it's not friendly at all. It's the sound of those wolves. Very much like the bears, these massive wolves, far too large than they should be. There's something about their growl that's abnormal. What is it?
Their growl sounds like another sound layered on top of it. Like when they growl, it sounds as if there's something else growling with it, and it makes like even like a small group of them sound like an absolute horde, and it is horrifying.
Yeah, so Sam, you start to hear the sound of a beast, just many beasts growling, and it's echoing. Starting to echo around you, so you kind of hesitate. You wait for
your friends, Shadow Man?
No, these are not. I suggest we stay on our guard. Yes.
You move yourself up another 10 so feet, and you hear the growls begin louder. Now you're hearing the yips of these wolves back and forth. And go ahead.
Lark just kind of curses to himself because now he's realizing that pretty much no matter where he goes, it's him and Sam right now. He sent Abraham away. Not that Abraham would have been likely to make this climb. But yeah, that's another obstacle Lark did not feel like dealing with today.
Just as you're about to take your next reach up, you both hear as a gun goes off. You hear the yelp of the wolf. And Sam, you see it. That fucking snow above you. Yep. That's fucking starting to go. Shotgun was a no-no. Whoever just fucking shot that gun up there, they obviously didn't know you were climbing up this cliff. Because goddamn it, boys, you hear that song of singing in your mind, Lark. What would you like to do as the snow begins to tumble down towards you?
Quickly, can Sam read the stitch as well while he's doing that?
Sure. I mean, you both can. If you want to help, kind of, you hear the gunshot go off, and maybe that's when you're reading the situation. Like, wait, there's someone up there.
Can Lark read the situation just because he's up first?
Sure. Yeah. And I'm gonna go ahead and just give you the bonus. You don't have to roll for it for this time. I think, again, you've both been listening intently to the wolf situation. Hearing that gunshot immediately is gonna make your senses go like, beep, something's wrong here. So yeah, go ahead and add a +1 on top of your roll.
All right.
Eek.
The world hates me right now.
I wish I had done that because I had a higher sharp.
Even with that bonus, I couldn't have rolled much worse.
I could have pulled better with the bonus. Damn it. Well, we're screwed.
So I had it highlighted. What can I say?
So did I.
Yeah. Well,
At least
here's what happens, Lark. You can tell, like, you've been in the mountains before. You know you can get up this cliff, but you're gonna have to leave Sam behind. Like, you're gonna have to purposely kind of get in her way, kind of stop her from moving forward. You can get up the avalanche, but if you go, the full force is gonna come to her.
Oh Christ. Oh no. Oh, that'll undo so much that Lark has been trying to do up to this point. Oh God. You know what? I think he's just. I don't think he's gonna dick over Sam. I mean, he's been stabbed twice and survived at this point. I think he's a little bit probably overconfident in his ability to take damage at this point.
Right.
I think he's going to take it, but as the snow comes down, you hear him shout, "Entity, protect me!"
Sounds
and
good.
can I open my brain as this is happening? Actually, wait. Entity's insight.
Right.
When I open my mind, speak to the entity about the situation that may bring danger to you or opportunity for more followers. Roll plus weird. Yeah, so I can potentially get a +4 to use, which could save me. Even
I
if this...
think it's a matter. I'm trying to think of time here. Yeah, it would be. I think you could do this, but it's going to be at a disadvantage because you just read the situation. The snow's right on top of you, so you can't get your full prayer here. So we can definitely roll. Like, you're going to just be a disadvantage to be able to get your full contact.
Well, at this point, I think Lark is accepting the fact he's going to take this, but this having the entity take over might get him out of the aftermath, is what I'm thinking.
Right.
Because at this point, I resolved to, like, this is happening.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll weird. Okay.
All right.
You take a moment. As you just kind of close your eyes and wish to pray, like you still hear the sound of the avalanche behind you, but it's slowed down, it's kind of muffled, and you are just kind of looking from a distance to yourself up against the cliff, and the shadow of the entity is shining over on top of you and Sam. But turning back, his figure is far away off the horizon. His shadow is stretching far, but it doesn't seem to reach past this cliff. This is as far as it goes. But you have, you have a moment to look over the situation. You can see that snow has released a bit of that climbing equipment, and it's a jump away. There's enough that if you and Sam can get to it, you're gonna have to, obviously, you're gonna get hit by some snow, but it's gonna get you enough out of the way and at least get you a more secure part to hold yourself to the wall, that you'd be able to at least allow this avalanche to pass and then finish your way up the cliff.
Okay. So I've already failed my sharp. I'm completely relying on the entity because I got nothing else at this point. Lark is going to, like, I imagine it's kind of like to like one side of us, correct?
Yeah, it's coming down right now. I would say about a 10-foot wide section has just been released and is coming down, and the climbing equipment has just been knocked free right at the edge of it. So you'd have to pretty much jump over to it, wrap yourselves up in the rope, and just pull yourself tight to the mountain.
All right. Is it to the right or left? Because Lark's going to yell something down to Sam.
It's to the left.
All right. As the snow is approaching them, Lark just shouts, "Left!" and dives for the equipment.
To which Sam immediately follows after, because, well, she's not got nothing else to do.
Right?
You got nothing else to do but follow this crazy guy who's healing himself.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, go ahead and both of you act under fire. You do get your +1 forward on this from the entity there, Lark.
All right.
Don't roll shit. I have +3. Don't roll shit.
Okay. I mean, I only have my boost from the entity at this point because cool is my 0 stat. Okay.
So Sam, you jump over and you grab onto this rope just as it's falling and pull yourself close to the mountain to prepare for anything that might land on top of you. Lark, you grab, you hop over, you grab the rope, but just as you grab it, you feel something fall out of your pocket. What is it? Like, what is forced out of your pocket as you hit up against this rock? What do you drop?
Oh God. The only thing, there's the knife and the skull.
You probably have, I think you have some barter on you as well.
I have 1 barter left.
Yeah.
Yeah, if the barter is an option, I definitely part with that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's either that, you're here now, so now it's just going to be a matter of trying to resist any of the damage that's coming. So I would say this is your option. Either you let that barter, whatever trinkets or jewelry or whatever it is, fall to be lost down below, or you can try to go and grab it, but you're just going to open yourself to a bit more damage from the avalanche, basically putting yourself directly back into the path.
Yeah, it's not worth it to Lark at this point. He lets it go. Sam probably sees this like gold band fall out of Lark's robes and just tumble down past her.
So just as you get to the snow, the chunks, or get to the rope, the chunks of snow begin to fall and just crash, just shattering against the wall and spraying out over this ledge, and you pull yourself in, just trying to hold on. Every once in a while you'll just get dinged, just crack, with a more solid piece of snow, and you just kind of brush it off. Just try to keep holding, keep resisting. I'm gonna have you both just
Actually, since as soon as I felt that first hit, Sam's gonna realize that, and since she can actually feel that shit through her armor, that means this shit must be hard. So she's gonna try and climb up the rope during this avalanche and try and cover Lark with her own body. See if she can stop this from hitting Lark particularly.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, yeah, this is gonna be a help move. So that's what you're trying to do, is get down there and help him.
Yeah. So that's HX, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lark.
Do we actually have a positive now?
We do, surprisingly.
All right.
Yes.
So that gives you a +1. So I think all this is, I'm gonna have you roll the harm move, but because she's over there, it's just gonna be at a 0. And this is a matter on, are you going to be able to keep your footing, keep your grip on here while the avalanche passes? She's able to use her armor and the bear pelt to deflect most of it away. That's why I'm not having any actual harm be
All right.
affected to you. And because you want a negative on here, that help would be technically considered an interfere. So you can go ahead and take a -1 on this roll.
All right. It doesn't give me the option for -1, so we'll take it
Right.
off.
Mhm.
Yep. Yes! -1's enough.
Awesome. It is absolutely enough. This rush of white and gray, ice, snow, and stone race past you, clinking off Sam's armor, exploding on the side, and landing hard down on the hill below, starting to tear up some of the trees. It's not a massive avalanche, but it definitely tears up 2 or 3 trees as it just pushes them out of the way.
As they're both just like kind of hanging there, Lark kind of looking at Sam with a little bit of surprise. Just, you saved me. Appreciate it.
Just kind of looks a bit sheepish again and just starts climbing up the rope as fast as possible. One, because awkward for her. Also, she's gonna go stab the person who just shot up there, mercilessly.
So as you both get to the ledge and you pull yourself up, you can see the location of Hilltop. There's a wooden tower that leans back and forth that you've been kind of staring up at for a while. There's 4 or 5 of these metal tube tents that some of them just, you're seeing the back part of them, and the faded orange, red, and white paint kind of still show sign of what this station used to be a long time ago. A ranger station of sort. You can see that, again, kind of through the gaps of these tents, there appears to be some kind of road. On that road sits a truck. By that truck stand 3 individuals, all of 3 that you recognize immediately, Sam. These are 3 members of Denise's gang. And they're currently shooting at 2 wolves.
Oh.
So, as we see that, honestly, I think that's a good place to put a pin in it. Because I think this is gonna become a much bigger thing. Yeah.
It's about to be a bloodbath.
There's about
Oh, fucking.
about to be some chaos here. So yeah, as we kind of fade out on this scene, like we just pull back the camera, having you two just pulled yourself up on this ledge, where we're seeing this whole little area of Hilltop, the tower, these tents, and we kind of pull up above. We see this Jeep of sorts, this truck. It looks like it has chains on its wheel, and there's 3 of these guys. One of them standing in the back with an automatic rifle. The other 2 have handguns, and they're shooting at these wolves, and they're massive, not quite the size of the bear, but big, gray, got blood just stained across. One dead wolf is already laying to the side, and there's just a fight going on over there. So let's go ahead and wrap up the session here. We all know what to do. Choose a character and add or subtract hex from them. Again, we're getting close. I think we're getting close to getting everybody back together, but there's been chaos. If definitely with the Emperor, Dusk, I think you would have some kind of hex with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but not so much. And
We also have to add Chris now.
right. So what we'll do is, as soon as you actually meet Chris, then we'll add that hex.
All right.
Yeah, because he has a special hex to him.
Yeah.
Well, the question literally just says, "Who was the first one I met when I stepped outside?" And in fiction, that hasn't happened yet. So,
Yeah. And then everyone who doesn't gets minus.
yep. So technically, everyone is a -2 right now, but the first one Chris actually meets will probably be upped to a +1.
We also need to highlight the stats, I think.
Yeah, we can definitely, if we want to do that now, or I can make sure to put notes to do it right at the top of next session. It's up to you guys.
I'm fine with either.
Okay.
I'm cool with either one.
Yeah, let's plan on doing it at the beginning of next session then. We'll go through and highlight and we'll hop back in. I think we all
Alright.
have all three of you are in some very interesting predicaments right now, aren't guess all
Oh
four.
yes.
But that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the recording here. I'll definitely stick around and talk with you three. But yeah, thanks anybody that might be watching out on the YouTubes. And thank you three for playing as always. I'm loving the story that we're creating here. It is getting deeper and deeper.
So cool. I'm so excited
good.
for all the things that are happening.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
thank you for watching out there, and we will see you again next week. Take care.
Ta-ta.
Bye.